Hey guys, this is Dave with Moneyology. Hope everyone is having a great Thanksgiving day. Today is Thursday, November 23rd, 2017, and this is going to be a crude oil sector review. Overall, the sector is still looking very, very hot. I like a lot of individual names in the sector, particularly in the small caps and micro cap space. We won't go through many of them here, although I'll point out some names that we're looking at. But overall, we're just going to look at some of the charts, starting with the oil. Crude oil chart, followed by the various different ETFs that will give you just an overall perspective of what's happening in the sector and why we're still very bullish on the space that we've been bullish on for quite a bit now. So starting with light crude oil contracts, WTIC, basically we've been basing since 2015 between basically a low of 40 and a high of 60, and it's our humble opinion that we're about to break above 60. We've been building this momentum here ever since we hit a low of basically 42 in May of this year, and we started building divergences, and that's when we started becoming bullish. So even as the price was kind of going up and down, momentum was being built here. And once we broke out above the 50 on the weekly RSI and confirmed it by retesting here, that was our confirmation that things are indeed going higher. Now we're right below that 69.70 level on the RSI, which is a very, very crucial level to break. We're above the 200 EMA on the contract at 57.61, and I think we're going to break above 60 very soon. And that's actually when we break above this level, which is the overbought condition, that's when the biggest moves happen. So perhaps this is a blow off top that sends us above 60 to 65. We'll see, but ultimately this is a very, very bullish development here in the energy space. Now, one of the most important areas of research that I do is I like to look at ratio charts between major ETF relative to the underlying commodity. You really want to see that ETF outperforming the commodity to confirm that we are indeed in a bull market. But for whatever reason, that's not happening here. We've kind of been basing here since 2016, and yet the ETF has been underperforming the commodity and it's kind of breaking down here. So that's very interesting. On the other hand, oil has been completely crashing since 2014, and yet the XLE ETF has been doing very well. So perhaps this is an anomaly that's not necessarily that fundamental to the future of the space. Now, having a look at the actual ETF and the others in the sector will give you a perspective that things are indeed very bullish. So start with the PowerShares Energy Fund, basing since 2016 here, and now we're finally starting to break out above that 14 level. And as I pointed out, we're above that 69 to 70 mark on the RSI. We closed just below that this week, but it looks like we're just consolidating for a move higher. Likely we break above the 200 EMA in the coming weeks at 1608, so a nice little bump here. And ultimately what this is going to mark is the beginning of really an uptrend, the beginning of a bull market in the space. So we really like energy. We think that this is going to be the best major sector to be in the coming 12 to 24 months. So stay tuned. XLE, the energy ETF, the major energy ETF. So kind of a cup and handle pattern here that we broke out of, and now we're consolidating. A break above 70 on this ETF will suggest a move towards 75. Ultimately, this needs to break above 75 to confirm higher prices. Right now, we're kind of diverging negatively, actually, right above that 50 level. So if this 50 level doesn't hold, perhaps there's something going out on underneath this ETF, and perhaps a major name there is just not doing well, which is again anomalous to what's actually happening in the sector. But on the other hand, this is going to be very strong support at the 50. So if it does hit 65, then that might be a good buy zone. And if it holds it, then expect the next move to be higher. But this is one to watch. XOP, oil, gas, and exploration, and this one is looking very good right now. It's building a stair-step pattern in momentum. It's about to break back above 60 here. In terms of RSI, we're finding support above the 50 and the 200 EMA. right below the 200, but right above the 50 EMA. It looks like we're headed towards the 200 EMA very soon, and accumulation starting to happen. And so this is, in our opinion, this is going to hit 45 before the end of the year. So some substantial upside ahead for XOP. XES, Oil and Gas Equipment and Services ETF. This is one that's still kind of in the doldrums despite oil's kind of breakout higher, but it's starting to build this base. It broke out of this downtrend. It's starting to build a base, and in our opinion, once it breaks above this 50 EMA at around 60 and 66 right now, it's going to make a very strong move towards that 25 level. So again, a lot of upside potential here with very, very well-defined risk reward. So basically, stop loss below 15 and upside really towards 25. OIH, Oil Services ETF. This one still hasn't broken down of the downtrend since late 2016, but it looks poised to start doing so. It's building momentum, positive divergences abound, and it's consolidating right below the 50 line here on the RSI, which tells me that this is going to break out very soon. And when it does, again, expect the 200 EMA to be tested and ultimately broken to the upside. Perhaps a move to 37.50 is not out of the cards. Small caps energy portfolio, PSCE. This is one that you really want to watch because there are a lot of very, very bullish developments in individual names that we're looking at, especially in the penny stock and microcap space. So a break above the 50 EMA at 1506 will really suggest that a move towards 2250 to 25 is in the cards. We really like this. It's consolidated above the 50, which is very, very bullish development. It's now starting to bounce above the 50, so successfully retested, and that's a confirmation that this ETF wants to move higher. Overall, just kind of looking through our watch list, what are some of the names that have the highest scooter ratio? That's a ratio that takes into account various different factors and tells us which names have a lot of momentum. So Hornbeck Offshore is one that we've pointed out. Valero is doing fantastic. And ERII is another one that's been doing very well. WPX, RES, SGY, this is a name that we've pointed out many times. It was in the low 20s, that it's headed towards 60, so a lot of upside on SGY still. ECR is very good. OAS is another name that is very interesting. Let's see what else we have. NOG is one that has a lot of upside potential. It looks like it's flagging here and starting to move higher. Watch the break above kind of 150 here. Let's see what else we have. RX is one that has kind of been in the doldrums, but I think it's finding support above that 225 level, so it can have a very explosive move higher. What else do we have here? Seadrill. This is one that we really like. You can't see it in this particular chart, but there's a lot of positive divergences there, and it's breaking above a downtrend, and a lot of upside potential with a pretty good risk reward defined trade. Another one on this list is SS. This is one that it's been building an uptrend since March of this year, so you want to take a look at that one. And a couple other ones on this list. Equatorial Exploration Corp. This is one that's on the Canadian exchange, but look at the move. It's gone from basically 6 cents all the way to 14 if you can trade it, and it's got tremendous volume over the last couple of weeks. It's got a lot of upside potential here. Another couple names here that you might want to consider is USEG. It's really looking good. It's one of our favorite looking charts in any sector. Break above 150, and this will really fly much higher. So anyway, bottom line is there's a lot of upside here. One last one. Look at Zion. Oil and gas, it might have a little, if it can hold above that 2 level or break above that 2 level, this can really break above this recent pullback from $7. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Bottom line is oil is definitely hot and a sector that you want to be looking at, and so take any pullbacks as opportunities rather than reasons to get out and panic. Good luck with your trading. Have a great weekend, and Please follow us on StockTwits and at Twitter at Moneyology. And if you haven't done so already, please take a look at our Patreon campaign. $10 a month will go a long way towards helping us make great videos. The link is in the show notes below, so please support the work that we do if you appreciate the work that we do. Thank you, and have yourself a great day.